Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. So, I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but according to the CDC, there is a new COVID variant. It's called BA.2.86. It's nicknamed, I don't know how to pronounce it, Pyrola, and it's several months old. Now, the variant has been identified in various U.S. states, including Colorado, New York, Delaware, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Washington state. This variant is very different from previous variants with changes in how contagious it is and how it responds to treatment. Now COVID-19 tests and treatments supposedly are still effective with this new variant. And just in case you are not aware, there has been a brand new vaccine. It was approved and updated on September the 11th, 9/11/23. I don't know what the deal is with 9/11, but anyway, it is a 2023-2024 formula, the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines by Moderna and Pfizer BioNTech. And it's for people who are 12 and older, and for those who are 6 months to 11 years old, they are authorized under the emergency use authorization. Now, according to the CDC, there's recently been an increase in hospitalizations due to COVID, but according to the CDC, they're not caused by this new variant, but by other predominantly circulating viruses. And although they weren't specific enough to say what these predominantly circulating viruses were, apparently this new vaccine is not tailored to the COVID-19 original virus because those who were vaccinated supposedly still have antibodies to fight against it. The new vaccine is tailored to these predominantly circulating viruses. So they're trying to put out, they put out a new vaccine that's linked to these other predominantly circulating viruses, although there was no specificity on what those viruses actually were. According to Mark Rupp, a doctor and disease expert, currently the dominant COVID variant nationwide is EG.5 with 24.5% of cases, followed by FL.1.5.1 with 13.7% of cases, and XBB.1.16 with 10.2% of cases. Now, this was a couple of months ago, allegedly. The original Omicron variant is now gone, is what they're saying, says Dr. Rupp. He says the original Omicron variant is now gone. Currently, subvariants of Omicron are circulating, including EG.5, XBB.1.5, and XBB.1.16. Since there are many variants of COVID, these may be the predominantly circulating viruses that CDC was talking about, but I don't want to assume because they weren't specific. Anyway, according to Nebraska Medicine, when you receive a COVID-19 test, you won't find out which variant caused your infection because COVID-19 tests only detect the presence of the virus, they don't determine the variant. So although these variants have some differences, they may all have to be treated the same way if a person does not know which one they have. Now, genomic sequencing looks at the genetic code of the virus to determine which variant caused the infection. Now, according to the World Health Organization, it is normal for viruses to change and evolve as they spread between people over time. And when these changes become significantly different, they are known as variants. And some of these variants are alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and omicron, and these are not all of them. The World Health Organization names these viruses using the Greek alphabet, and they started with, of course, the alpha variant. According to Yale Medicine, while the original Omicron strain seems to no longer be circulating, it is the subvariants of Omicron that are the predominant strains in the U.S. The Omicron strain was the EG.5 strain and was nicknamed Eris. If you look up Eris in the online dictionary, dictionary.com, the definition says that Eris is the ancient Greek goddess of discord and the sister of Eris, identified with the Roman goddess Discordia. Interesting. The subvariant KBB.1.5 is nicknamed the Kraken, and according to dictionary.com, the Kraken is an enormous mythical sea creature said to appear off the coast of Norway. You know, that sounds like the Marine Kingdom to me. Going back to the newest strain, which again, nicknamed either Pyrola or Pyrola, it is, according to Wikipedia, a vulgar word that actually means cock or penis. Pirola is also a dark Themistian asteroid from the outer regions of the asteroid belt. Now, these nicknames are supposedly unofficial, and some of the subvariants were first suggested by evolutionary biologist T. Ryan Gregory, who began referring to them in December 2022 based on his own personal system of nicknaming COVID-19 variants after mythological creatures. But I guess my question is, why would a professional biologist name serious variants that are unaliving people after a male's genitals and mythical creatures? How professional is that? Now let's look more into these names that the world is using to describe these variants. Omicron, for instance, is Greek in Greek mythology, means a Greek god who was unhappy when people lived in peace, working harmoniously together to maximize their collective well-being and happiness. Now, Eris is a descendant of Omicron. Remember Eris, a goddess of discord? What a goddess of discord, that's crazy. What about the name Orthrus? Orthrus is the Greek name given to another variant, and it refers to a two-headed dog in Greek mythology. The two-headed dog guarded Geryon's cattle and was killed by Heracles. Geryon was the grandson of Medusa and the nephew of Pegasus, and Geryon was a fearsome giant. He was a human-animal hybrid and was also known as a monster. The person who killed Orthrus was Heracles. Heracles, son of Zeus, and a demigod with superhuman strength. Let me just add, many of these mythical creatures are named after fallen angels and their children. These fallen angels are not gods and never were. They were angels, and their children are not demigods. But why would a biologist name diseases after Greek mythology? The biologist did not name all of these variants. Omicron is listed on the World Health Organization's website, and they're the ones who actually named Omicron. But some of these other names, I'm speculating that they were given by the scientists, are not on the WHO website, but Omicron is. Remember, Omicron is a god who was unhappy when people lived in peace. They said they're following the Greek alphabet, but they skipped a lot of letters to get down to O, to Omicron. And it is the parent to a lot of these subvariants. There are a lot of strains, but only some of them actually make it to the news. Let's talk about the flu for a moment. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, there are only 4 strains of the flu virus. There's A, B, C, and D, which has been around for 500 years. According to the National Library of Medicine, influenza pandemics have been reported for at least 500 years, with inter-pandemic intervals averaging approximately 40 years. Isn't it ironic that the flu virus has been around for approximately 500 years and there are only 4 strains, but the C19 virus has been around for almost 4, and there are about only 20 different, there are what, about 20 different strains all over the world, according to a WHO document. Within the past 100 years, there have only been 4 flu pandemics in the last 100 years, right? So listen to how these people named these flu pandemics. In 1918 was the Spanish flu. In 1957 was the Asian flu. In 1968 was the Hong Kong flu. And 2009 was the swine flu. And I'm surprised 2009 wasn't labeled geographically like the others, or after some culture or race of people. So what I find ironic, in addition to this, is that the herpes virus has been around for hundreds of millions of years, according to the National Library of Medicine. Yet, there are only 8 strains that affect humans primarily. Again, that's also from the National Library of Medicine. Now, the C19 has about 20 strains, although it has been around for only a few years. Okay? Yet, according to the National Library of Medicine, herpes virus is also a virus, has been around for hundreds of millions of years, and there are only 8 strains. Why is the C19 virus replicating so fast? These are viruses, right? It takes time. So what's going on with the C19 virus? These experts recommend that children as young as 6 months old are vaccinated with C19 this vaccine. 6 months old. It is to be expected that as these COVID variants continue to come out into society, there will likely be new vaccines created for those new variants, as we have seen with this recent vaccine. So, since there is a new vaccine, don't be surprised if you begin to see advertising for it through politicians, celebrities, healthcare professionals, even church pastors, as these new vaccines continue to come out. It doesn't appear that this new vaccine is meant to replace the previous C19 vaccine, because they said that this new vaccine was created to work against those predominantly circulating viruses instead of the old virus. So it appears to have been created exclusively for the variants, for the current variants. And as you know, you can't say much about anything without being censored. So all I have to say is this: y'all be safe out here, if you know what I mean. I wanted to bring this to your attention. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.